SETI Integration. The Search for Extraterrestrial Intelligence, Book 4, by Frederick Fichman. Nothing had really changed, but everything had changed. Life on Earth would never be the same, forever forward. Preface. The biggest fear of all, what the Tau Setians would do next. More enigmatic were the true capabilities of Earth's newest massive extraterrestrial population. Earth's newest global neighbors. The following report was recently released from the United States Department of State. United States Department of State, Washington, D.C., September the 5th, 2015. Classification, General Distribution. Report 2953 DCD 15-Q3. Current Situational Status Report, Tau SETI Immigration to U.S. and Territories. Start Summary. 1 year and 12 months have elapsed since the overnight immigration of approximately 25 million status alien individuals from an off-planet location to U.S. and U.S. territories. Total number worldwide is now estimated at 110 million. Exact numbers are inexact due to illegal immigration not coming through ports of entry for count, status, or deployment. Current disposition and contact with alien population. From scarce validation, alien enclaves are situated in the following U.S. states and territories: Central Montana, Central Kansas, Central Arizona, South Central California, Eastern Oregon, 100 miles west of Guam, 100 miles northeast of the U.S. Virgin Islands, 100 miles west of American Samoa, 100 miles east of Johnson Atoll, 100 miles north of Midway Atoll, 100 miles north of Howland Atoll, 100 miles west of Saipan Island, 100 miles north of Palmyra Atoll, 100 miles east of Wake Island. Please note that all near-island and atoll locations are being developed on artificially constructed islands now being developed by the alien population. Approximately 24 other alien enclaves have now been established in other parts of the world on land and sea. At this point, there has only been top-level contact and association with alien leader known as Clayton Perfect. No contact or communication has been made with any member of the Supreme Council as they are known. In addition, there has been no photographic evidence of dispersed locations, no radio frequency communication on VLF, HF, VHF, UHF, except for sporadic ATC communication on 126.000 MHz AM for overflight contact and transponder lock frequencies. All attempts at satellite, air, or ground-based radar or other scanning modes have been blocked and reflected by alien population on all frequencies, modes, and formats. NSA continues with non-manned drone contact and other means of direct contact with the assistance of the Department of Navy. To date, no NSA contact and reconnaissance has been successful. We understand from brief conversation with Alien Senior Representative Clayton Perfect that construction of living space for the alien population in all parts of the world is in desolate or unclaimed land territories and or on ocean coordinates. We further understand that construction materials for base land, foundation building material, is being mined from the ocean floor. To date, no data, reports, photographs, or other sensory data has been obtained from the alien population or has been garnered from U.S. official department sources or from unofficial or random chance gathering. All attempts at approach to construction sites have been rebuffed by the alien population. In summary, only from sparse interaction on ATC channels, from detected overflights, and from the little information that we have received from senior Tau SETI Representative Clayton Perfect is there any indication as to the true nature of this extraterrestrial incursion. It is unknown at this time if these conditions will change or improve. Continuing efforts by this department and other U.S. agencies will hopefully allow us to understand the true nature of future relations between us and this new humanoid species that has landed on our planet. As the situation changes or dictates, updates will follow. George L. Berg, Executive Officer, Information Security. Unclassified for general distribution. Chapter 1. Clayton Perfect stood on the wooden stage in front of his large audience. The venue was refurbished for him and by him at Madison Square Garden. Most members of the UN Security Council were in attendance. Also there to listen to what he had to say were the New York, London, Moscow, and Beijing elite. Representatives from around the world filled the audience. The speech was telecast around the world by television, the internet, and a new wireless omnipresent Tau SETI distribution system that engineers were hopelessly trying to decipher. Perfect moved from around a provided platform. He slowly ambled with his thin, tall, gaunt frame to the very front of the stage and looked at the 18,200 people staring breathlessly back at him. They were anxious to hear what he was about to say and feared what he was about to say. His alien race, culture, and population had taken over the most desolate patches of ground around the planet. They had grown to 100 million in a short period of time. They kept to themselves, metering out only small bits about their advanced civilization. No-fly zones were established over their settlements. Satellite photography and other sensory attempts to eliminate ground information about the land they occupied was impossible. All images seemed to be constantly blacked out when cameras or other sensors were aimed or scanned at the humanoid locations. They were an alien race of humanoids, forcefully implanted on Earth. Their presence so far was unobtrusive, if not completely separate from that of Earth humans. They were totally independent, with all of their needs for survival and growth provided by them. They asked for no help or supplies. Most important to the humans, they had erected boundaries on land or created land which the Earth population had no interest. Those locations on uninhabited or created islands, vast deserts, or unclimbable mountain peaks would never be seen by the indigenous Earth population, or so it seemed. They were here, but no man would ever know it. Now standing in front of Earth representatives, gathered by invitation from the Tau SETI Supreme Council, was Clayton Perfect, leader of the Tau SETI humanoids. Clayton Perfect was thin as a rail. He towered over his audience. He was at least 7 feet 7 inches tall. His face was humanoid, but still with the strange features, so popularly imagined in countless science fiction books and films. Perfect had large eyes, small thin lips, and a sallow skin tone. The estimation of those alien features described in countless films, television, or on the internet were not that far off. He dressed in a long robe, no body form seen. His body type was bipedal, and he was built like a human, but he was not. He held out his hand. Many of you have seen my image on your media or on your crude electronic computers, delivered by your internet, and perhaps by the introduction of our global wireless network we have installed on those computers. We will in time introduce you to that system and will allow you to share in its power and reach, Clayton Perfect said in a powerful but slightly tinny voice. One brave soul in the audience whispered, "Why are you here?" That question was from the third tier of seats, as far back as was physically possible in the Madison Square Garden. It was not heard beyond 5 feet of its origin. Clayton Perfect looked up towards the question. He heard it perfectly clear. He paused, smiled slightly through his thin lips, and he lowered his hand. He then looked down at the thousands of humans before him. The question was from your group. Why are you here? Good question. Probably your first most important question. Clayton Perfect smiled again. The tension was broken. There was a general controlled laughter and nervous giggling drifting up from the audience. Perfect continued. We are simply here because we had no other close, suitable planet we could immigrate to. We had to leave our planet because the environment that had supported our species for billions of years failed. That's billions of years our species of humanoid had been developing on our planet. Your planet is similar in size, chemistry, geology, and air envelope compared to our planet you call Tau Ceti. Perfect changed position in the tone of his voice. We know that you are uncomfortable with us occupying your planet as abruptly as we have. We know that without invitation you consider that, shall I say, rude. Unfortunately for you, your social system manners are not a concern for us. For the humans on Tau Ceti, that is what we are, by the way, we are humans, not humanoids, extinction was our only other choice. Another brave soul in the audience shouted out, louder this time, "How did you find us?" The story is well known and has been known for years. You know it, and we know it, but I will repeat. We were scanning for radio frequency signals from other extraterrestrial planets the same size and distance as from our sun, Tau Ceti. We locked onto a radio call from a private citizen by the name of Sam Alexander. We wanted to consider him as your representative and invited his parents to join us on Tau Ceti. It was not abduction, as your conspiracy theories and science fiction often speculates. We brought Sam Alexander's parents to our planet, made them comfortable in their own dwelling, and spoke with them many times about your planet and their son. We decided that your planet would suffice our needs, and that Sam Alexander would be your representative, since he was our first contact with planet Earth. Another even braver voice spoke out from the audience. Was there a choice for us, your occupation? Perfect moved several steps across the stage, then turned directly to the questioner. No. The abruptness of the answer tensed the audience again. A quiet murmur arose from the 18,200 audience. Several frightened couples stood and began to leave. Listen to me carefully. Your American Indian tribes had no choice when this continent of America was invaded, now did they? Additionally, when your early ancestors began to spread from your Africa continent to locations throughout the world, your animal population had no choice either. Then Perfect moved forward again. But let me assure you, our arrival is not how alien invasion was portrayed in author H.G. Wells' War of the Worlds. Our arrival does not have the complicity or obfuscation as portrayed in your Twilight Zone episode, To Serve Man. We are not here to conquer, but to share your earth. We understand your sensitivities of us not receiving an invitation, but we had no other choice, and at this point, neither do you. Another uncomfortable murmur rolled through the crowd, this time louder. But we bring with us solutions to many of your problems, which we will share soon and throughout your world. Those solutions will come in due time. Still, the crowd seemed restless. Many had heard enough, and fear began to spread. But then Perfect continued with even more disturbing information. For generations, humans have wondered if there are other intelligent species, not only in our shared galaxy, but beyond, in the expanding and multiple universes that are beyond. Your species has asked incessantly, are we alone? I can assure you from our own experience, you and we are not alone. Perfect then lowered his voice. I can also assure you that our arrival will be to your benefit. It will be to not only your benefit, but your protection as well. The next unannounced arrival, whether this week, next century, or 100 centuries from now, may not be so magnanimous and friendly. Both of our civilizations must develop and support each other, and if necessary, defend each other. For you, that means you need us. Now, in a much stronger and authoritative voice, Perfect said, more to follow. Clayton Perfect turned quickly, walked off the stage in a long, graceful stride. The audience fell silent. Their exit from Madison Square Garden that night was just as quick.